Clichy-sous-Bois, 10 years ago, the birthplace of an unprecedented wave of violence in the French suburbs. It was there that Zayed Benna and Bouna Traoré lived. On the 27th of October 2005, the 15 and 17-year-olds were electrocuted in an EDF electricity substation while trying to escape the police. In Clichy-sous-Bois, dozens of young people almost immediately involved in a pitched battle with the police.
They chased them, and the worst thing is that they left them there without calling the emergency services. And it was a youth from the area who called them. They left them. It's a failure to assist a person in danger.
The riots were to last 3 weeks, and they grew, engulfing the whole of France. Regular clashes with the police, thousands of cars torched and public buildings targeted. On the 8th of November 2005, a state of emergency was declared, but it took another 10 days before calm was restored.
I want to say to children from problem areas that whatever the color of their skin, whatever their origins, that they're all children of the Republic.
Well, since then, Clichy-sous-Bois has unwittingly become a symbol of urban strife. The town, one of the poorest in France, despite the attention thrust upon it. It has metamorphosised thanks to a vast urban renewal plan. But some areas lag behind. Unemployment and poverty still common. Disillusionment leading now to anger. That's why some have decided to try to take control of the town's destiny for themselves. Well, Adele Gestel and Jonathan Walsh have been to meet them.
This is a great time to share things because during this walk, these women talk to each other. They let it all out.
My son turned 18 last November. I got him registered and took him to vote. It was his first time and I took him. We're all from Clichy-sous-Bois and we were brought up here. We all know each other, it's good. I can't see myself living anywhere else.
Every Monday, they swap the pressures of city living for a little bit of fresh air and greenery. An event organised by local activist Zulika Giroudi. This group, Assez le Feu, was created in the wake of mass riots in the outskirts of Paris 10 years ago. Its objective, to give the people on the streets a voice. Some of its members have even gone on to join Clichy-sous-Bois' municipal council.
We're walking, doing exercise, both physical and mental. It's good for both the body and the mind. And it's making us think about which party to support.
Zulika was born in Morocco but came to France when she was still a baby. She says she's proud to call the country home.
Our parents and grandparents suffered. They went through a lot, but they kept quiet because they were immigrants and didn't want to lose their jobs. But we are French. Everyone needs to know that. We think French, we eat French, we dream French.
Organisations like this have become a pivotal part of the community over the last decade.
You're going to overtake me.
Yeah, I think so.
And meeting with his constituents on the street is also important for the local mayor.
Well, this is really how I envision public service, how the mayor in particular should act. Meeting the residents of Clichy when it's informal, like we do in these visits to the neighborhoods, which we do every couple of weeks.
First stop, a new residential district created after the 2005 riots. This time the mayor's joined by his deputy, Mariam Cissé.
Everything is fine in this area, in the sense that people are pretty satisfied with where they're living, and that's the main thing. The architecture is modern enough, especially with the new buildings. They have wooden facades and balconies. Things we didn't have before.
This part of Clichy-sous-Bois and neighbouring Montfermeil both benefited from an unprecedented renovation plan. Tower blocks were demolished, replaced by smaller residential buildings. That's down to a €670 million government facelift planned before the riots took place. Despite the investment, the same old problems persist.
Young people need jobs. That's what they want.
There, you've just been challenged.
It doesn't surprise me. He's probably right.
The unemployment rate in Clichy is more than 23%. It's one of France's poorest areas. A new employment centre hasn't alleviated the problem. Town Hall remains the biggest local employer.
Yeah, I remember you. You're from Shell.
Yeah, I'm back and I'm applying again for the job.
Whether it's a job or an apartment, the same complaints come up time and time again. The mayor has lived in Clichy-sous-Bois all his life and knows their situation better than most.
The problem with this town is that it's very fragile. It's a kind of ghetto. There are too many people in difficulty. They're really socially disadvantaged.
We leave behind this revamped neighbourhood, complete with the town's first ever police station, for Le Chêne-Pointu in Lower Clichy. Built in the 1960s as a model estate, it's turned into an urban nightmare. One sign of an area that's been neglected, many of the lifts here have long stopped working and aren't being fixed.
I'm fed up with this. It hurts my knees because we keep going up and down and up and down.
A situation which has forced the local council to hire workers to carry people's bags up the stairs.
Oh no, I can't do this anymore. I need to breathe.
So there isn't even electricity.
It looks like the bulbs have blown and nobody's changed them.
Lots of residents here don't pay their maintenance charges. Local authorities, submerged in relocation requests, are struggling to cope.
Give us an apartment. There are new apartment buildings in Clichy-sous-Bois. But for us, you see how we live. This building is spoiled, rotten from the ground up. It's not a life, that's it.
Those who live in these huge apartment buildings are angry. Many feel like they've been abandoned by the state.
Take a look. It's crazy. Have you ever seen such a mess? Look at the ceiling. It's like a jungle here. Can you imagine that families have to walk through this?
All the hallways look the same apart from the one that got burned out. It's amazing that those looking after the building don't do anything. Compared with how other young people are born and raised elsewhere, people here are the unlucky ones.
Olivia works for a cooperative that buys and renovates homes in Le Chêne-Pointu. As a social worker, she spends some of her time helping out Kader and his friends. She helps them with their paperwork and is someone they can reach out to. Olivia hopes her assistance can give young residents like these the helping hand they need.
We are doing the paperwork to create a community association. We have lots of projects. There's a young man who told me he wants to start a library, give computer lessons to the children, organise outings, and all this within one association.
It's on these very streets that violence first erupted after the deaths of Ziad Benna and Bouna Traoré. Those who live here say the situation has only got worse.
It's deteriorating more and more. If a French person came here, they'd be disgusted. It's so ugly. I'm disgusted.
I've had a lot of jobs, but hey, apparently when they see Clichy-sous-Bois, they get a bit scared. That's why I'm going to set up my own venture, and we'll see.
In what?
Transport.
Unemployment levels here for those under 30 have reached 40%. In Le Chêne-Pointu, as throughout Clichy-sous-Bois, the local economy is struggling. One local resident has decided to try his luck. Igor's business is located in the only shopping centre the town has to offer.
People say it's pointless to set up a business here. It's rubbish, it's dirty, the people here have no respect. But I believe in change. With my brothers, it works. I gave them a hand, and in return, I see that they make an effort. They want to reach the top, to be successful.
Igor opened the store a year ago with his little brother alongside him, but the project doesn't stop there. With the help of his childhood friends, he set up Mission Mars, a network of local entrepreneurs who want to help revitalize Lower Clichy.
Le logo il est clair et il y a des mains de toutes les couleurs. Dans la cité, quand on leur demande est-ce que vous avez une aide.
In this neighborhood, if you ask people if they got some help from local authorities,
Ils répondent un petit peu.
they'll laugh in your face.
C'est un peu fâché, les jeunes. Ils sont un peu fâchés.
So me and some other guys from around here who've succeeded as entrepreneurs, lawyers, bankers, we're trying to help them out, give them a hand to succeed.
At 29, Igor is largely self-taught. After growing up in Le Chêne-Pointu, he carved out a career in transport before returning to his hometown, somewhere many are looking to find a route out of.
Mission Mars. And 2 photos before 7 p.m. because I'm working late tonight.
Igor hopes his determination and ambition will catch on.
I opened up my first business when I was 19. I found that the easiest way to get what you wanted was through work, and not through all this bullshit of fighting and theft. And over there, we're going to see a mural in honor of Ziad and Buna.
Igor knew the 2 teenagers long before their tragic deaths.
I even gave little Ziad the nickname Slingshot because he used to throw rocks over the building. Yeah. He was a little kid, always around my house, Buna, Ziad, and my little brothers. We had quad bikes. And we'd take him to go quad biking in the field over there.
Some of those times were even caught on tape. This home video shows Ziad Benna riding on the back of a quad bike in August 2005. Just 2 months later, on October 27th, he went out with friends and never came home. The group of 10 returned from a football match that evening and were seen in a site forbidden to the public. Police attempted to intervene, and a chase ensued. 3 of the young men ran down the slope at the back of this cemetery and hid in this power station. 2 of them, Ziad Benna and Buna Traoré, were electrocuted and died.
He was like my little brother, always very helpful, willing to help everyone. He was cheerful. And suddenly I realized in 2015 he would have been 25 years old. He could have had an education and become a responsible, well-integrated adult. I think he died for nothing if the police get away with it.
Mariam Cissé is the deputy mayor of Clichy and the cousin of Buna Traoré. She can be seen among those paying their respects in the days after his death.
When this all happened back in 2005, it pushed me to say we can't wait around and do nothing. It is in our interest to get involved in local life. That's what I did.
Mariam and Clichy's mayor are on their way to Rennes to find out the verdict in a long-running court case. The 2 police officers involved, Sébastien Gaiman and Stéphanie Klein, are accused of not helping a person in danger. The families claim they knew that the young men had entered the power station and didn't raise the alarm in time. Hours later, the verdict is handed down. Both officers are acquitted. Ziad Benna's brother is despondent.
I'm disgusted, absolutely disgusted. There's just no justice. Police officers are never found guilty in this country.
Despite her own involvement in local government, Mariam Cissé doesn't hide her frustration either.
We're a lawful country. We still expected certain things, even if they were small. We wanted them to take some of the responsibility, but because all this is inadmissible, now everything is on us. It's our fault, all our fault.
Back in Clichy-sous-Bois, the ruling is met with little reaction. Work on an upcoming tramway is now underway. It's due to be completed by 2019, with a metro station to follow 4 years later. The work, part of a wider plan to integrate neglected suburbs into Greater Paris and its employment centres. For now, it takes around an hour and a half by bus and train to reach a city centre just 15 kilometres away. Clichy's isolation has been a long-standing obstacle to its residents' ambitions. Igor takes us to meet his childhood friend, Hakim.
This is a good location here. We're next to 2 schools.
He opened a restaurant in neighbouring Aubervilliers. Hakim says he was left with little alternative.
I'm an entrepreneur and I wanted to open something in Clichy-sous-Bois, but I found nothing. I couldn't open a business here.
After studying business, Hakim created several of his own brands and wants to keep expanding. Igor has convinced him to become a part of Mission Mars.
We all have little brothers or sisters or cousins who live in the same environment as us, and they look up to us. So we have to lead by example. We are trying to take care of Lower Clichy to create a model that other towns will want to follow.
Igor's Mission Mars project is still in its infancy, but the signs he's seen in his own neighbourhood have given him hope for the future.
After the riots, the small shopping center was dead. There was nothing. There was a lot of theft. It was a scary place. But we succeeded by working as a family through hard work. We started with just 2 people, and now we're 1,000 at least.
J'étais encore sur l'île, virgule, ou plutôt sur la baleine, virgule, lorsqu'elle se plongea dans la mer.
Around a third of Clichy-sous-Bois' residents don't have French nationality. Many of them have only recently arrived from abroad. This lesson, organised by the local council, provides an opportunity for people to test their language skills. Even elected representative Mariam Cissé is taking part. Literacy support groups encourage their students to attend.
Yes, I made a lot of mistakes. 17.
He made more than me. I made 14. He made 17 errors.
3 mistakes. I really thought I could get 0 for once.
Learning the language is an essential part of fully integrating into society.
To be able to understand the letters we receive and to have an active daily life, it's something that's important. In 2015, if you're unable to read in Clichy, it's a real problem. Unfortunately, there are still people who have difficulty.
Sunday morning in Lower Clichy. Mission Mars and its tireless founder Igor have organised a special football tournament. Each team is made up of players from one of the housing blocks. They're all given their own kit. In a town where over half the population is under 25, the initiative has proven very popular.
Even if it's raining, those of us that are here today, we're here because we love football. And it's a good thing to get together from time to time, to share the excitement, to have a laugh together, and above all, to play sport. Because, you know, the only thing we can do here, really, is to play football.
A huge regeneration plan for Lower Clichy was unveiled by the government at the start of the year. It includes a sweeping overhaul of the urban environment. Old tower blocks will be torn down and modern developments put up in their place. It could take 15 years, but Igor refuses to be downbeat.
The neighborhood is really poor, in disrepair. But we're here, and we're not damaged. We still have our 2 arms and legs, we still have our health, and together we can do something. We can totally change the whole neighborhood. And that's where our strength is.
Such enthusiasm will be vital if the young people of Clichy are to reclaim and reinvent the place they call home.
Adele Gastel and Jonathan Walsh revisiting Clichy-sous-Bois. Well, that is all from this week's edition. You can catch it again and all the previous editions on our website. That's france24.com. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more.